So on the back side, same ideas, different procedure. Have you ever heard that the word of means multiply? Has that ever been shown to you? What about is being equals? You have to have heard is equals, I would think. And what is always the variable. So what I'm going to show you how to do is take these words and translate them straight from an equation and a sentence. So what percent? Whenever you see what do you stick in? The variable. So W. Go back here to the board. It says cost per ounce. I emphasized per meant what? Divide. So what per, that's the word per. Now who speaks French in here? All right, Ingrid, the word cent in French means what? John? What does cent mean? What does the word cent mean? S-E-N-T. 100. Okay, so what per 100 of is times 25 is 12. So that's taking, Dylan, in a sentence and translating it directly, Noah, to an equation. So now we got to go through. I have W over 100 times 25 equals 12. How do you get rid of the divided by 100? Multiply. Okay, so multiply both sides by 100. That gives me 25W equals 1200. And how do you solve that? Just divide by 25. Someone with a calc? Someone. What do we get? I want to say 48. Is that right?
Yeah.
Dylan, you were about to ask something. Go ahead.
Can you just do 12 over 25 just equal to x over 100?
Yes, you can. But that's doing it as we did it on the front page as a proportion. And I want to show you how to take the words and translate them directly into an equation. It's like I was saying before. You can solve it as a proportion, or we can solve it as an equation. And I want you to be comfortable with either one.
So do we have to do this one in the test?
I'm going to ask you to do one as a proportion, one as an equation, and then I'm going to give you a third one. I'm going to say solve either way. Because I need you to be flexible to be able to do it different ways, because certain problems lend themselves to different methods. All right, look at this next one. Once again, when you see what do you stick in? A variable, whatever your favorite variable is. So x is means what? Equals 35, the symbol percent. What do I put? Per 100, because cent means 100. Of means what? 60. So here, Dylan, it lays out unbelievably nice. Take your calculator, take 35 divided by 100 times 60. Boom, answer. What's the answer? Someone give it to me. How much? 21. Which is easier in this case, the equation or the proportion? You write it, you multiply it. Done. So sometimes the equation is going to be easier. All right, once again, what goes to a variable? Is goes to what? Equals. Of goes to what? Times. And percent goes to what? Over 100. There's your codes. Let's look them down. 640. So physically, 640 is, what do I write? Equals what per cent of 32 is percent of. How do I get rid of this 100? Multiply up. So that becomes 640,00 equals 32W. To get rid of the 32, divide by it. Someone divide for me, please. Is it 200 or 2,000? Is it 2,000? Okay. So 2,000. Can something be 2,000% of something?
Yes.
Look at the numbers. 640 is what percent of 32? Kind of a weird thought, isn't it? You had an evaluation and there was 32 points possible, and what was your score? 640. Is it way over the mark? Yeah, it's 2,000%. So it's possible to have a percent that's over the max, is my point. Okay, our last one, estimation. No calculators here. When we're doing estimation, you got to do some rounding. So instead of thinking 52%, what am I thinking?
50.
About 50. Instead of thinking 843, what am I thinking? About 840? %50 of 840. You can do that in your head. Effectively cut it in what? Half. What's half of 840? 420. So when they ask you to estimate, put down your calculator, put down your scratch. You're literally just thinking through it. Ballpark your percentage, ballpark your number, and figure it out. Now on your homework, you're going to need to do both. Proportions, and it's going to say on your homework, solve using a proportion. It means that. Then there's another section on your homework that's going to say, solve using an equation. Do it this way. I know it's not going to be easy to jump back and forth at the beginning, but do your best. Because I need you to be comfortable both, Justin, on the proportion side and on the equation side. Remember, is equal, of is times. Those are your key ideas for that.